Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Sean Higgs coming at you here. It is Thursday, the 8th of May. And as always, Doug Upstone, Chirimbes joining me here for a little Major League Baseball free pick action on a Thursday. This is a lone NBA game. We're going to pivot from the NBA for today. So there's that. Sorry, folks. You want our NBA? We'll get to that in a second. But right now, free pick MLB. Thumbs up. Maybe a thumbs down. You're not going to like the picks today. Notification bell's on, though, always, so you know when we come. NBA, MLB, NFL, college football, college hoops, whatever the free pick video is, you don't want to miss out on that. Put that notification bell on here on the Winner Circle YouTube channel. And, again, you want NBA today? Head on over to gamblersworld.net where you find me, Chip, Doug, a baker's dozen of cappers for you, handling all your best bet premium action. Now, NBA is great. We might have something selling today. I'll talk to the guys about that in a second. But baseball in full swing. It is May. Still 5 big months of baseball left. Hello, 649 through the World Series. You can't beat that. That's like a quarter a week. $25. You waste more money at Starbucks or whatever the heck you go for your specialty coffee and a Danish. All right? And then make the smart money move. 649 baseball pass. Go get it from us, somebody else, whatever. It's at gamblersworld.net. We have a leaderboard there. You see how we do in all the sports listed for you. You're like, you know what? Baseball. Who likes baseball? All right, you know what? Get a 30-day package, all sports inclusive. It's all sports, 30 days, and it's guaranteed. We show you a profit or we credit you back. Same with the 3 and 7 days. Different strokes for different folks, as they say, right? Whatever you're comfortable with, 3-day, 7, 30-day, go get it at gamblersworld.net. Now we're going to jump right in. Let's get into some baseball today. We love our MLB. We got a couple of decent games today. You know, we got some crazy high lines, which was a little shocking to me, but is what it is here. Chip.
Yeah.
Your game's here today.
Well,
we got Phillies in a race.
Right.
All right. Jesus Luzardo and Ryan Peepo. Whatever. You pitch for the Dodgers, whatever you call the guy, whoever he's going to be. Basically about a 150 here for Philly, 147, total of 9. Luzardo's been great out of the gate, and I like this guy. I thought he was pretty good with the A's. I actually had a Cy Young on him one year, and of course he goes out after like 2 starts or something. And I had an AJ Puck one too, and then they traded him to Miami. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I can't get a break with my A's pitchers here. Montes, whoever. Sonny Gray. But he's been good. Phillies, nice little start. Tampa Bay is Tampa Baying it up. We're playing in a minor league ballpark. Nobody likes us. We're talking about going to Orlando as a new city. I don't know. 150 is kind of steep for me as a road team. I don't want to really get into that kind of range laying on the road. But you lean a dog? You like a total? This is your game, your free pick. Chip, what do you got?
I love Jesus. But let's go Knicks. How about those Knicks? I love those Knicks. All right. Luzardo pitching for, of course, Philadelphia, and he's been excellent. You're right. He came from the A's, and he was always a play-with pitcher as far as I was concerned. His ERA 1.91.
Yeah.
I had Tampa opening game in this series. Big mistake. Philadelphia's been on a roll. They've won 8 of their last 10, and they've actually won 8 straight meetings against the Rays. And the Rays' home field, of course, is George Steinbrenner Field right now. They've lost 6 of 8 as it is, and 6 in a row at home. But I think there's a silver lining to this game. Jesus, who's been great, right, has given up 2 runs or less in 6 of 7 starts, and yet he's 0-3 lifetime against Tampa Bay with an ERA over 6. And the way bullpen's been coming out, they're coming out so strong. I mean, they're just adding gasoline to every fire they're coming into. I'm going to play this game over the total. Right now, you've got the big lefty Harper is hot for Philadelphia. They're scoring runs, which they had a little difficulty doing earlier. One of the most interesting things about this matchup is that in the last 6 games, Sanchez has started 3 times for Philadelphia, and Wheeler started twice. So they've had 5 starters with 2 games. So seeing Luzardo, they've seen him because he's been in the American League before. It's not a new, fresh face for him. But I think the game goes over.
Over the total, 9 runs, official free pick from Chip Chirimbes here between the Phillies and the Tampa Bay Rays. Again, this is our free picks here. And baseball, go ahead, Chip.
I know I'm going to say, and I'm pretty sure. I think Doug would know more about this than I am. Isn't this Steinbrenner Field a pretty homer-friendly park?
Yeah, it's more conducive to scoring runs. Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking about the same thing in Sacramento when they're playing out there for the A's. That those guys are really getting off on playing in those parks. I think Philadelphia loves playing here. I mean, all of a sudden Harper's hitting the ball.
Hey, listen, Phillies line up pretty good. You got him.
Schwarber leads majors and homers already, right? Schwarber,
yeah.
My Daffy Duckington.
Listen, that guy's a free agent. He might be playing for the Yankees next year, Chip, for you. He might be.
Well, I want all of them. I want everyone with the Yankees. That's all. The scraps, you guys can put the Boston. Well, and overflow to the Mets, but it's got to be New York in baseball, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, the Giants. San Francisco's.
Come on, yeah. Every team's associated with New York somehow. Stop it, Chip.
Yeah, except the Dodgers. You can't do Brooklyn. They're bums.
Yeah, every team.
That's what it was. They were bums. The Brooklyn bums. You go to a Yankee game, they'd be in a suit and tie with a hat on. You go to Ebbets Field, and they'd be in shorts and sandals and a ripped T-shirt.
Yeah, well,
that's
the way it was.
No,
a lot of things change. Everything, Chip. Everything has come back to the New York for Chip here.
I'll take any baseball team. I love baseball. Anytime I see a good team, I don't care what uniform they have on. I applaud the opponent as well as the victors, which are going to be the Yankees, of course.
Chip's a New York homer. The guy was born in Idaho.
Well, that's where I found my new life, when I went on the Snake River.
Chip likes the over. Philly and Tampa here today. That's his free pick. You want his best bets, you head over to gamblersworld.net. NBA, Mr. NBA, you were talking about a little NBA, your Nick guy there, nice little win for them, but get all the Chip's best bets at gamblersworld.net. Again, the free picks are the free picks. 5 and 9 with our free picks here with Major League Baseball. Not many out of the gate. We've been doing a lot of NBA, so we've been going at 1 and 2. We have not really hit our stride yet. It'll be there because in another week or so, there'll be a lot more MLB videos than NBA.
Well, thanks for assigning these games to us, Sean. I mean, 5 and 9, I understand.
Yeah. Well, when we do them with the NBA, sometimes it's a Thursday, and we only got a couple night games to choose from. We can't, there's, 12. We can't do the Twins game. It's underway.
There's got to be a winner somewhere.
We'll find it. And that's what we do. Again, most of the winners, gamblersworld.net. Doug, what do you think about Chip's over here? Phillies and the Rays. He's like the over. You mentioned the ballpark. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, he mentioned that they've been playing lousy at home, and that's true. 9 and 15 on the season, for the Rays. So that's not getting it done. And that the only thing with the over with that, and I'm not disagreeing with the over. It's just that this lineup has so many holes. For Tampa Bay, this is not the Tampa Bay we're used to seeing. Over the last decade plus. So that this is just not the same team. And the Tampa Bay starting pitcher at home, his ERA is over 5. So I'm going to go a little different direction. Chip mentioned the Phillies bullpen, and I agree with that. I'm going to take the Phillies for the first 5 innings, in this one, because I like Luzardo in that. And the price is actually pretty fair, I think. It's minus 140. I checked about 15 minutes before we did the show. And also of note, Tampa Bay is 12 and 22 in the first 5 innings this season. So let's go with Philadelphia minus 140 for the first 5 innings.
First 5 Philly. I like it. I'm seeing I like, if I'm doing a first 5, I like to do a minus the half run, because sometimes you get a little plus money on those as opposed to laying. Sometimes it's even. I don't know. I figure if I'm taking a first 5, I don't want it to be like 1-1. I think the team's going to be up, right? So I'm always going to look for kind of a plus in that kind of situation. But
yeah, see, I like to be careful in a lot of situations, so I'll take a push anytime over a loss.
I get it. Why wouldn't you? I'd rather tie. We move on to the next day, but
right.
And I'm adverse to laying. I'm like, oh no, it's 130. I'm gonna get super cute and try to outsmart everybody by do a minus the half or plus 110. And Does it lose sometimes? Yes. And then I'm kicking myself. Like, if it's 2-2, I'm like, here we go. Here we go. That one out, like a guy on second. Like, it's 2 out, then there's a double, and then there's a steal. It's kind of like losing a game in the bottom of the ninth, right?
Yes.
Some random run gets pushed across the 2 outs. You're like, come on. Lead off doubles. Anyway, enough about me crying about losing with 2 outs in the game. Free pick, as Chip says here, he likes the over 9 in the Phillies and Tampa Bay. Listen, there is a basketball game today. We've seen some of these NBA games. Loads of dogs, outright no less. Although the Thunder did really lay a shellacking on Denver last night, but everywhere else, the dogs, they're not barking. They're not happy. They're purring like kittens. It's like a well-oiled machine there, Chip. What do you think about all the dogs winning outright? And enough about the Knicks. Let's say, it's great. Keep it short, all right?
I wasn't too happy about yesterday's underdog, and I mean, game 1 of the Minnesota Golden State series. I thought after the series that Golden State had, and they're veterans, and they're going to come in with only 1 day off, and here's Minnesota sitting there, 5-6 days. Minnesota really laid a bomb in that opening game, and other than Curry going down right now, I'd really be afraid of this Golden State Warrior team because they are not a number 7 seed, and they took out the number 2 Houston, and tonight, it's a tough call. Very happy about the Knicks, and the Thunder last night was great for us, but for me, I've got to hit the big games, and we're moving along right now. Big games in baseball are 7-3 on the year, our megabuck plays, so I'm happy about that. And, this game tonight, I think it's a tough call without Curry being down there. And I think the line's been inflated to 10.5. Is that right, Minnesota?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I would imagine the public, Doug, would you think the public would lay the 10.5 here, even without Curry? And they're 8-3, by the way, in the playoffs without Curry since 2009 are the Warriors.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the right side is on that game. I didn't even give it a thought. And to be honest with you, with the type of injury that Curry suffered, they're saying, 3 games, unless there's a game 7, I don't think he shows.
Right. Okay.
With that type of injury, I'm not sure if I'm not even sure he'll play in this series at all, even if it did go 7. I mean, those types of things, and he's had these before. They just don't go away, and it just takes some time. So, Minnesota couldn't be in any more advantageous position, and I guess maybe the thing with the whole playoff thing is the lack of urgency from the home teams, either to start games or to put them away. Because I'm reading about, there's no more home court advantage, in the NBA, and it's diminishing. It's all this and it's all that. Well,
let's win the game 7.
Yeah, right. It's just I don't, I think it's just a series of circumstances where I think the game of basketball and sports in general has changed. I have said this before. I don't see in some cases the mental toughness that I used to see from other people. I think society as a whole has changed. I know I'm going philosophical here, but I think that's just part of what's going on. And and the arrogance of Boston in the last 2 games is beyond my comprehension. 25 for 100 last 2 games from 3-point land. Okay.
Hey, Sean, what do you think about Anthony Edwards? He's laid 2 bombs in a row out there, and it's obvious if he's not going to be their number 1 go guy, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, he has to be the facilitator there. The team's got to go to him. Like, Naz Reid's nice and Gobert's nice. You got some nice players on the team, right? It's a solid team, right?
They say he just stopped playing.
But you need the guy to get the ball who's going to say, I'm taking over.
Yeah.
He felt sorry for himself. He went 0 for 8 and he was feeling sorry for himself.
Yeah. No, you can't have that.
No. It can happen to anybody, but not in that instance.
Like you said, the game's changed. Like, they just want to fire threes. You're up 20, these teams, and then you keep going, keep firing. Where's the coach to say, take it to the damn basket? Slow down the other team's momentum. Sometimes you just have to. No.
And you'll draw fouls. If you go to the basket, you'll draw fouls. If it just sometimes. This is what I saw a couple of years ago when with LeBron, where everybody would just be isolated and everyone standing around and throwing threes. And I think they lost 4 out of 5 games in the finals the last time he was there. Or was that the pandemic year and they won when nobody played?
Yeah, he won that one. Yeah,
he won that.
But I remember the Lakers just standing around and having no shot, and
that was both the Dodgers and the Lakers both winning bubbles, asterisk titles for the city of LA.
By the way, you know who invented ISO plays like that? This is a good trivia question. Now you have to go back a few years. It was Don Nelson, the former coach of the Bucks and other teams, Dallas and whatever, and former Celtics player. He was the one actually that came up with the idea of isolating 2 players on one side of the floor.
Well, sometimes it works, but for the most part, there's 5 guys out there. I want the best shot, not necessarily the best player.
I don't mind the ISO. Sometimes you want to see the best guy like, hey, here's whoever. I'm going to show you I'm the best. There's something to that at the end. I want
the team to win. I mean,
at the end, I'm going to say that at the end of the game, it's one thing, right? At the end of the game, there's 15 seconds left. Obviously, Jordan, Kobe, somebody's going to get the ball, and it's going to be a one-on-one situation. I don't need that for 4 quarters, right? Let's just say at the end of the game, I want to see the best on best. That's fine. I can live with that isolation at the end. Not every possession.
I'd rather see my team give themselves a better chance to win than Carmelo Anthony trying to go one-on-one. And, some of these guys are just going to take the shot. They force the shot.
Here we go.
Defensively against them. And, it's I'd rather see ball movement, a backdoor play, and the open shot taken than this one-on-one isolation. How about that?
That's what you get. There you go. You can't even work one-on-one with a phone.
Hey, listen, my camera crew is going to be fined for this action. I'll tell you that right now.
One last thing on you brought up Carmelo. Carmelo Anthony, Rookie of the Month every single month. Had better stats than LaFloppy the entire year, but yet LaFloppy gets Rookie of the Year. How's that possible? Carmelo went to the playoffs.
You got to be people's favorites.
He won the voting Player of the Month for the Rookie Player of the Month every month, but yet doesn't get Rookie of the Year.
It's a New York bias.
That's it. Well, he wasn't on New York back then.
That's his point.
Oh yeah, who'd you start with? Denver.
Come on.
Yeah, too cold out there for him.
Rookie of the Year. Asterisk for LeBron, along with his COVID championship bubble.
Baltimore, Maryland. I don't know if it was
no asterisks. No.
Yeah, definitely an asterisk for sure.
They won. Everything that was won. Okay. There was in 100 years. Who won that Rookie of the Year award? Or in 50 years, who won that award? Who's going to know?
No one talks about it. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's terrible.
Hey, you might remember his playoff action for Syracuse as a freshman because that was incredible.
Awesome. Versus Utah. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Unbelievable one.
Hall of Fame player,
Yeah.
Speaking of unbelievable ones.
No, I would just, no doubt a scorer, but I just remember the futility of him falling short in those situations so many times.
Who, Carmelo?
Yeah.
He
got to be a joke in New York.
He was at the Kentucky Derby, by the way, too. They interviewed him.
Did he run?
Yeah, they interviewed him. Yeah. Yep.
We're going to talk about good runs. We're going to be talking about the Atlanta Braves here and the Cincinnati Reds, Doug's game. Braves, great run in the 90s. Still trying to find that pitching staff. Schwerber, Shaver, Sale, the Braves started out, we've talked about it off the air. They go 0-7 to start, and they've rebounded nicely. But holy cow, Doug, minus 198. They won 4-3, and they lost 2-1 against the Reds. As bad as the Reds are, and again, they're bad because they don't have a winning record here at 500. The pitching staff is solid. They have a solid pitching staff, these guys. Green, Lodolo, Abbott, they're pretty good pitchers. And I think whether Chip's cheering for the Brooklyn Dodgers or the Mets or whoever, that I wouldn't mind having any of these pitchers on my team. The problem is your young bats, the sophomore slumps are still continuing. They can't get much offense here.
Okay.
There is zero shot of me laying 198 with a Brave team here. I'd be more inclined to just take the Reds on principle. If you had them in a series getting these kind of numbers, 150, 160 each game, you're sitting pretty coming in a rubber match. If you took them both games, you're up. You say, you know what? Maybe I just pass today. I like the big number here, but you could attack it different ways here. Run line would be a plus 114, but I know you could go with minus ones, no bottom nines. What do you got for us on this game here, Doug?
Yeah, you talk about the Reds offense. I think Chip brought up Jesus Lazardo, so I'm going to go stay at the theme. I think their offense is biblical. It's either feast or famine, okay, from that standpoint. So they're actually number 10 in offense, the Reds are, okay, because they go through a series of games where they score a lot of runs, but in their last 4 games, they've totaled 6 runs in 4 games. The Atlanta offense is 2 years removed from an unbelievable season, okay, where they literally had 9 guys that could hit the ball with that team. Since not even close. They're
Crazy.
averaging 4 runs per game, okay, this season. In their last 7, they're averaging 2.5 runs per game. Okay, so their offense is in the tank. They've won some games because their pitching has gotten them by. I think tonight we got a really good pitching matchup. Mentioned Nick Lodolo going against Spencer Schwellenbach. And who else, but like I said before, besides the Braves, has 2 guys named Spencer that on the starting staff. Here's the thing, though. Big road underdogs like the Reds in this situation with a starting pitcher who has a whip of 1.15 or lower against a starting pitcher from the other team who has a whip of 1.25 or lower. Teams like the Reds in this exact spot are 26 and 123. Okay. Now, normally this to me sets up for a run line play with Atlanta, but because their offense is so rotten, I'm not going to go there. And instead, I am going to go with the alternate run line of -1, where the line is -148 with Atlanta. So that's my play. Atlanta -148 on the -1 run line.
There you go. Official pick here from Doug Upstone for the video. Braves -1. We're not going to. Here's the case where Doug's like, you know what? If I get a push, so be it. I'm not going to fall for the old banana in the tail pipe. I'm going -1 because this Braves lineup is not all that great. -1 from Doug here. And you saw it scrolling across here. Doug on a 68% run lately over at GamblesWorld.net with his best bets and top plays. So be sure to check out Doug today in Thursday action. We do have playoffs in hockey and NBA. So Doug, red hot, 68%. Even in the Vukazi Discord world of nonsense and TikTok altered tickets, 68% would be considered pretty good in that world of fake people. But here, it's excellent run for a handicap. It's ridiculous. Be sure to get Doug's best bets. Chip, what are your thoughts on this one here?
I agree with Doug about not wanting to lay the $1.90 or close to $2 and laying a run and a half with a team that has difficulty scoring runs. And I could easily see why you'd lay 1, because if you win the game, which I think Atlanta's going to do, but I wouldn't lay that price, you're not going to get beat no matter if they win 4-3 or 3-2 or whatever. This Spencer Schwellenbach, first 20 innings of the season, first 3 starts, gave up 1 run. His last 20 innings, he gave up 19 runs in 21 innings in his last 4 starts. 6 runs last time out in 3 innings against the Dodgers. I think Atlanta's the side. I don't want to lay $1.90. Doug, you sort of stole most of my thunder and I think it's tough to go over. I mean, Ellie De La Cruz is certainly my favorite player out there, though I wish he'd choke up an inch or 2 on the bat. He's the most exciting thing I've seen in baseball in a while. But Doug, I'm going to have to go with you. I think we laid a run line here. And if I have to lay the 1.5, I would. It just doesn't seem in my head like Atlanta's going to cover a spread. You know, you look at them, I just don't think they're going to, it's going to be 7-2. It may be, because Atlanta's playing best baseball right now of the year, starting 0-7, winning 12 of the next 19. So, so I'll lay the run line. I'll lay the 1.5, Doug, just so I'll have challenge. I don't want to have to just sit on your coattails.
Plus 114 on the 1.5.
I'm an underdog. There you go. I made myself an underdog.
Plus 114 with the extra half there going with.
I should lay 2.5.
Getting fancy here. You know, Doug, you brought up Spencer, 2 Spencers. Maybe their guys' parents were friends of Spencer for hire back in the day. Who's that? Robert Urich and I remember the big blackout.
And I date myself, right? Is that what you're saying? I date myself when I say the stuff? Okay.
Spencer Brown was in the 80s.
Wasn't there
I
a
thought this was in the
Wahlberg?
80s.
The Wahlberg did a movie.
That
right?
was a remake I saw on Netflix, which wasn't terrible. I was like, wow, I thought this was going to be a series. I was like, Spencer,
Yeah.
I think you can watch the
I
original
I like Robert York way better in Vegas. I thought that was
Yeah.
Well,
Really?
Vegas, anything Vegas.
that was
Come
very
on,
good.
Vegas.
That was a great show. That was.
Vegas, baby. I love watching the old Vegas shows and just seeing how the strips change. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
And you come next year, it'll be different than this year because they have nothing but like 40 construction cranes all over.
Every year I go out, it's like something different. I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
Absolutely. They keep the locals entertained because there's always something new. They're very progressive out here. They're on the cutting edge of everything. I mean, they revamped all the slot machines here in Las Vegas, and the casinos have a whole different look. And they're really, I mean, there's a lot of money out here, I guess.
A lot of money to be made
yes, and lost when you go visit.
Yes.
And by the way, only 38% of their revenue comes from the gambling. Believe it or not.
Yes,
they're charging more for rooms, for parking, for food than they ever have before.
Yes,
it's the resort fees got to go, man. That's a whole nother show. We could just do. Just charge me $70.
The resort fee's $50 a day. I mean, they make an advertisement. You can have a room for $29, and you get there, and it's like, wait a minute, what's this $54 charge? And then there's tax added to everything else anyway.
It's ridiculous. Nickel and diamond to death.
Hey, Sean, before you do your game, I just want to share something with you guys, and this is actually going to be written up. It'll be up later, posted today in the Baseball Bites article. I don't know if you guys knew this. I did not. Okay, I read about it, and so I wrote about it. Did you know that the quote unquote strike zone has changed this year in baseball?
I wasn't aware of it, really.
Okay, now actually, here's the thing. Actually, it hasn't changed. But what changed was that the umpires, they're graded on every game. Okay,
right.
So they have the schematic as to how the pitch. They monitor each pitch for the umpires for balls and strikes. In the past, okay, until this year, they had a buffer of 2 inches, okay, on the strike zone. So if the ball fell into that category, and an umpire called it a ball or a strike, whatever they called it, is that as long as it was in the buffer, they weren't graded or it wasn't worked against them.
Right.
This year, it is down to 3/4 of an inch. Okay. And that was part of their plan to introduce it, for the grading purposes, and then to shrink it more for grading. And so, and all the players have said that they had no idea this was coming. Major League Baseball said it was announced, but it was not. And so everybody is well aware of it now, that they're not getting squeezed, but what they got last year, they're no longer getting for batters, and it's more advantageous to pitchers, obviously. So I just thought that was a really interesting perspective of something you don't often hear about in baseball. That's kind of unique.
One of these annuals I saw, they had a stat for which batters had the most strikes called on pitches that were out of the strike zone.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw this. And
no.
I was in shock when I saw who led the league, and it was 76 times Aaron Judge. They called more strikes out of the strike zone for him when he was at the plate than anybody else.
What Here's the thing with his height.
I was going to say, out of the strike zone for him, like, let's be honest. The strike zone, as you're a kid, letters to the knees, it turns into the belt buckle in Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
literally the belt buckle.
Absolutely.
Come on.
But they have this for everybody out there, and I thought it was kind of interesting that he was the leader.
If they're going to use robots and technology, computers on the strike zone, it can't be this big. It better expand the strike zone. You want some hits? Expand the strike zone.
Well, there is a strike zone, and they are calling it now because they set up the regulation for it because how they're grading the umpires. I don't know. I just thought it was pretty fascinating that I didn't realize the technology was that precise, and that I knew they were being graded, but you don't always know under what confines they're being graded on.
I don't want robot computerized strike zones. People get mad at Angel Hernandez and these umpires. Players knew the umpire strike zone, and they accounted for it. Pitchers knew it. There's got to be a human element to the bang bang plays, replay. This is all sports. Like things would be the history would be changed if we went back in time and switched. Oh, look at this half second. He's out. He's safe. Come on. Yeah. Stop with this nonsense.
They experimented, and it was actually pretty well received at all spring training games where a batter could challenge now too. Okay, and so I don't know exactly how many you got. You might have gotten like one per game that you could challenge each player, but you could challenge it. And they had the technology that literally they got the answer like in 10 seconds. So if a pitcher challenged, a batter challenged a pitch, is that auto thing came up, it was on the scoreboard, show you where the pitch went to, striker ball, game moves on. So that was pretty cool. I like that.
We're going to move on now. Listen, Doug's baseball bites, shoot the rock at gamblersworld.net. Go get his best bets at gamblersworld.net for NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball. And Chip Chirimbes as well. All of our best bets at gamblersworld.net. Final game. We'll run through this one. We've gone along here. But Dodgers in Arizona. Yamamoto, I got a 15-1 Cy Young on this guy. And so far, so good. Looking pretty good. He's having a nice little season. But here we go. Dodgers, a long haul from Miami coming to Arizona. 155, total at 9 versus my guy, P. Fatty, who's a pretty solid pitcher here. All that being said, he's off a poor outing. That's fine. And, I'm going to chalk off a bad start on the road. On the road, he has been terrible. 3 starts. He's got a 6 ERA, 294 batting average against. At home, though, solid. He's got that whip a little over 1. Better numbers at home. Let's be honest here. Dodgers exploding yesterday. A lot of runs late. That game looked like, it was 0-0 in the 6th inning. I'm going to go under the 9 here. I gave you the P. Fatty road splits there, or home splits for him, home and road splits. It doesn't make a difference where Yamamoto pitches. The guy's been fabulous. I was going to say P. Fatty had the bad outing, but before that, he had given up more than 4 runs just once in baseball this season. And I was going to counter by saying that Yamamoto's given up more than 5 hits, none this season. The guy's given up 4 runs. This guy he's given up 5 hits a couple times. He's been absolutely as advertised. Last year's first year in the States, maybe learn a little bit. Dude, just look. These numbers are just lights out this year for this cat. I'm going to go under the 9. .93 whip, 171 batting average against, 24 hits. That's like a half a hit an inning. 40 innings, 24 hits. What are we doing here? Give me the under 9 there, Mr. Upstone. What do you think?
Well, I think I'm going to be there. That's what I think.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm going tonight. I wanted to see him pitch. My daughter's a big Dodger fan, so we're going tonight, and so that'll be interesting. You mentioned 2.25 ERA for Brandon Pfaadt on that one, and Yamamoto, it speaks for itself. And this one, I will give you a local flavor. Well, a lot of teams in the division, the NL West, hate the Dodgers, and believe me, Arizona fans fit it. They cannot stand the Dodgers, so it's a lot of bad blood around, but it's always fun to go because it's a very entertaining game. Favorites, okay, like the Dodgers, 125 to 175 that have a slugging percentage of 430 or higher, facing a pitcher who has a whip below 1.250, and their slugging percentage is even higher in their last 15 games. It's 460 or higher, 46-12. Let's go with the Dodgers, okay, in this one.
Like in the Dodgers, the heavy run line or the heavy number. Actually, it's down. I'm seeing actually a 140. Well, DK's got a 155, but the offshore's got him at a 145 now. So Interesting, drastic little change there. Not drastic, but 10-cent move there. Chip, give us your thought on this game and maybe this day in sports as we wrap it up.
Okay. These 2 teams have split the last 10 games. I like this Arizona team. I really do. And in the West, I know what you're saying, Doug, about the Giants and Dodgers and the Padres and Dodgers. And, they're such heavy favorites. It's easy to root against them. That's because they're formerly from New York. But this Yamamoto, let me tell you you're right about him. 4-2 ERA, under 1. He's given up 4 earned runs in 40 innings. And this is his second year, right? He's given up 100 hits in 130 innings of Major League Baseball so far. And in that 130 innings, he had 154 Ks. He's probably one of the most efficient players in baseball as a pitcher. And the Japanese, I know from having experience watching games out there, are fundamentally sound. They practice bunting. They practice base run. They practice everything. I like the Dodgers here, even though I'm rooting for Arizona. I can tell you that much. But I think the Dodgers are the side because your boy Brandon over here has given up 7 homers in 40 innings this season already. 5-2 ERA, just under 4, and he can beat you, but he gives up the long ball. So I'm going to take the Dodgers.
There we go. We got a couple of Dodgers. We're going to lay it a little bit here with a couple of guys. But again, official picks, and these are the ones that keep the records on here. 5-9 minus 470. So down a little bit here with our free pick Major League Baseball. Again, free picks. You want our best bets, gamblersworld.net for all of our best bets in all sports. You want the baseball, $6.49. You want a 3/7/38 guaranteed package? We show you profit, we credit you back. Gamblersworld.net. You want a daily pass, $69.99, where a day like today where you got NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, 3 different sports, you might have 3 different packages, $69.99. Go get it. Support the cappers, support the show, get a premium pass, and start making yourself some money. Freebies again, and we'll be out of here. Doug, Braves on the run. Oh, you didn't do your thing? Come on, Doug. Braves -1 on the run line, -148. Rays over the 9, Dodgers under the 9. Chip, send us away.
All right, here's the final thing. May 8th, not only a day the Knicks won the championship over the Lakers when Willis Reed came limping out of Madison Square Garden 20 minutes late and the place exploded, hit the first 2 jump shots, and the Knicks won going away as 27 assists from Walt Frazier. In this date, in 1906, ace pitcher Albert Benner was removed from a game. He had been bombed and sent to left field, ends up hitting 2 home runs, a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th to win it. That was in 1906. Carl Hubble, 1929, at the Polo Grounds, shut out the Pirates 10-0. This one's wild. 1936, jockey Ralph Neves falls off a mount during a race, as a jockey, of course, hits his head, is pronounced dead. He's dead. He wakes up 10 minutes later with everyone in the room, and his wife faints. Boom. They had to take her to the hospital. War Admiral won the Kentucky Derby in 1937. And on this date in 1967, Muhammad Ali was indicted for failure to report for induction. And I told you about the Knick game. And my favorite here is because I was living in New York at this time, Mike Tyson, who on Varick Street, downtown Manhattan, was going through the Holland Tunnel and actually crashed his car against the wall, $183,000 Bentley at the time. And he was so frustrated, he just gave the keys to one of the workers for Port Authority and said, "It's yours." And he gave him the car. And he was eventually fired for accepting the car. But that's it for May 8th. And the favorite one is the Knicks winning because that was momentous. In my time, anyway.
Mm-hmm. I'm shocked that you have Nick. Everything's this New York love is getting a little annoying.
Hey, what can you do, man? We're bigger and better. Well, except for Texas, of course, because you don't mess with Texas. Anyway,
we do not. Let's go Rangers.
Let's bring up Alaska.
Thank you, by the way, for the time.
Let's bring up Alaska, okay?
Yeah, but population. I mean, what's the population there?
They say Alaska is bigger, right?
And it's dwindling by 20,000 every year because the aliens are eating them, I think.
Everything is bigger in Alaska, believe me.
Yeah, Alaska's enormous. I want to go to Alaska. Enough about that. We're out of here.
You don't have to come back.
I'd go in the summertime, though. I'd make sure to do that.
Poor Seth is jumping out of his chair. We're out of here. Happy Thursday. Under Arizona. Braves -1 and over Tampa Bay. Good luck, everybody. Bye-bye.